how are you? How you doing?
Oh, what's going on? How you doing, sir?
Everything.
I'm sorry, did I scare you?
Man, I'm not even kidding when I say this might be the most wholesome video you watch all year. We're counting down 29 times when the biggest celebrities on the planet showed up completely unannounced and made someone's entire life in a single moment. I'm talking Paul McCartney hiding in an elevator, Jennifer Aniston popping out from behind a couch, and The Rock doing something at the end of this video that I genuinely don't think any other celebrity has ever done. Every single one of these is real. None of them were expected, and some of them are going to make you feel things you were not prepared for. If you're new here, subscribe because we do this every week. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming. Number 29. Let's start with one that gets you immediately. 2016, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson walks backstage with Jimmy to find a woman named Karina who works as a producer on the show. Karina is also a military veteran whose husband had been deployed overseas for a year and a half. The Rock starts thanking her for her service. She's already getting emotional just from that. And then he tells her there's someone behind her who wants to say hello. She turns around and her husband is standing right there in full dress uniform. She just falls apart. I mean, completely falls apart.
Husband home for you in the holidays. Turn around and hug your husband.
Even Fallon couldn't hold it together. There was not a dry eye in that building. And we're only getting started. Number 28, Paul McCartney, 2018. Jimmy Fallon convinces him to prank random tourists at 30 Rock.
Hey guys, I'm here with Paul McCartney, and today we're going to surprise some people that think they're going on a tour of 30 Rock. Then the elevator's going to open on the wrong floor.
The doors open on the wrong floor, and unsuspecting tourists walk in and find themselves face to face with a Beatle. One older woman just started weeping on the spot. She told Paul she'd been planning to marry him since she was 12 years old.
I was gonna marry Paul McCartney, so that's the closest I ever got, and I am thrilled.
He laughed, she laughed, everyone laughed, but you could tell for her that moment was 40 years in the making. That's the power of these surprises. They collapse decades of love into a single second. Number 27. Jennifer Aniston in 2020 decided to hide behind the famous orange couch on the Friends set at Warner Brothers Studio. Fans walked in for what they thought was just a regular tour, sat down, started talking about how much the show meant to them, named their favorite character, and then Rachel Green herself popped up holding a coffee pot like she'd been there the whole time. The screams were unreal. One person literally asked her, "Am I dreaming right now?" Jennifer said, "No, I live here." That response alone deserves an award. She stayed and took photos with every single group. She was playfully offended when someone said their favorite character was Ross instead of Rachel. But you could see in her eyes that hearing how much Friends meant to these strangers genuinely moved her.
Ross?
Number 26. Okay, here's a funny one. Arnold Schwarzenegger in 2015 dressed up in full Terminator costume and makeup and stood completely still at Madame Tussauds right next to his own wax figure. When tourists leaned in for photos with the statue, he came alive. People were screaming, running, grabbing each other. One guy nearly fell over a velvet rope trying to escape. Arnold just stood there grinning, saying, "I told you I'd be back." Peak cinema number 25. Channing Tatum in 2015 went full method for a Magic Mike screening. He wore prosthetic makeup to look like a balding middle-aged executive and interviewed fans outside the theater, asking them awkward questions about the movie. Nobody had a clue. During the screening, dancers came out and started performing, and then the executive ripped off his disguise and revealed himself as Channing Tatum. The room, which was mostly women, completely lost their minds. I mean, absolute pandemonium. Best movie premiere ever. Number 24. Drake in 2016 wore a wig and glasses and went undercover on Hollywood Boulevard for Jimmy Kimmel. He interviewed random people about Drake, asked them what they'd say if Drake was standing right there. One said probably freak out. Another said she'd ask for a picture. He kept going, asking more and more personal questions about himself while standing 2 feet away from people who worship him. Then he took off the disguise. The freaked out exactly as advertised. The other guy just stood there with his mouth open for a solid 5 seconds before words came back to him. If you're already smiling at these, just wait. We're about to shift gears and things are going to start hitting very different.
Asleep with his suitcase. Oh my God!
Number 23. Here is one that I think about all the time, and it doesn't get talked about nearly enough. George Clooney in 2017 found out that an 87-year-old woman named Pat Adams had been telling everyone at her retirement home in England that he was the love of her life.
George Clooney.
A staff member wrote him a letter, and George actually showed up at her door with flowers and a card on her birthday. No cameras, no press team, he just drove there. When she saw him, she grabbed his arm and said, "I am not letting him go." And she meant it. That woman held on to George Clooney like he was going to float away. That's not a PR stunt. That's a man who genuinely wanted to make someone's day. Number 22, Tom Hanks once crashed a wedding in Central Park while out on a jog. Just jogged right up to the couple during their photo shoot, kissed the bride's hand, congratulated them, posed for pictures like he was on the guest list, and then jogged away like nothing happened. The bride later said she didn't process what happened for about 10 minutes. That's the most Tom Hanks thing that has ever happened.
Take you on a trip with that.
Number 21, G. Brooks and Trisha Yearwood in March 2025 surprised everyone at his Nashville bar, Friends in Low Places, by just casually showing up behind the bar to serve drinks and lead a sing-along. No announcement, no tickets, just G pouring beers and singing with regular people on a Tuesday night. That's the most country thing I've ever heard, and I love it. Number 20, and then there's the Maroon 5 Sugar music video. 2015, Adam Levine and the band drove across Los Angeles crashing real weddings to perform the song live. They set up behind curtains on the existing stages and dropped them mid-ceremony. The video now has over 4 billion views, which tells you everything you need to know about how much people love an unexpected moment of joy. Number 18. I need to take you back to 1992 for a second because something happened on live television that people still talk about. Saturday Night Live, Mike Myers, Madonna, and Roseanne Barr are doing the famous Coffee Talk sketch.
This is my best friend, Liz Rosenberg.
Linda, don't talk to me. I'm having a bad hair day. Barbara, we love you. Hello, gorgeous. The movie was like butter.
Like butter.
They're gushing about how amazing Barbra Streisand is. They keep saying she's like butter. And then, without any warning, Barbra Streisand herself walks onto the live broadcast. The audience erupted. Madonna's face was genuine shock. Mike Myers broke character completely. Nobody on that stage knew it was happening. That's one of the greatest live television surprises in history. Number 17. This one's specifically for anyone who grew up watching Grease. In June 2025, John Travolta showed up at the Hollywood Bowl for a Grease sing-along event dressed head to toe as Danny Zuko. Nobody in the audience recognized him at first. He walked on stage. The crowd went absolutely insane, and he started performing in character with that same swagger from 1978. He later posted on Instagram that no one knew, not even the cast. If you're a woman who had a poster of Danny Zuko on your bedroom wall, this one was for you. Number 16, Hugh Jackman in December 2025 popped into a choir rehearsal at a Milwaukee high school. The footage aired on Good Morning America. Kids were giving him high fives, some were nearly crying, and he stood there telling them to follow their dreams while they sang songs from The Greatest Showman to him. Wolverine standing in a high school auditorium getting serenaded by teenagers. That's a movie that needs to exist. Okay, we're officially in the second half now. And I need you to know that what's coming next is on a completely different level. Every single story from here on out is going to make you feel something deep. Number 15. So, let's talk about Adele. In 2015, the BBC set up a fake audition where professional Adele impersonators showed up thinking they were competing for a spot on a new show. What they didn't know is that the real Adele was backstage getting a prosthetic nose, a fake chin, and a wig glued onto her face.
Hello, Graham.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Jenny.
Nice to meet you, Jenny.
She walked into the room calling herself Jenny, chatted with the other women.
I'm Gabriella. Oh, Jenny.
Complimented their voices, and nobody suspected a thing. When it was Jenny's turn to sing, she pretended to be nervous, fumbled the opening, and then she opened her mouth and sang, "Make You Feel My Love."
And the whole world is
The room went silent. One woman's hands started shaking. Another covered her face. And then, one by one, they all just broke. Because when that voice hits you in a small room like that, there is nowhere to hide from it. The impersonators were sobbing, Adele was crying, everybody was hugging. It was one of those moments where you realize how deeply music connects people. Number 14, switching gears for a second to something quiet and beautiful. In 2024, Keanu Reeves was at a comic book shop in LA when a 9-year-old boy named Noah walked up to him and nervously told him he was his favorite actor. "You're definitely my favorite actor in the whole entire world." Instead of just signing something and moving on, Keanu stopped everything. He knelt down to Noah's eye level. He talked to him about which movies he liked. He asked him questions about school and what he wanted to be when he grew up. He treated a 9-year-old child like the most important person in that room. No rush. No, I have somewhere to be. Just genuine human connection. The video went viral because that's just who Keanu is. He has never once acted like he's too famous for anyone. Number 13. Here's one from the deep internet that most people have never heard. Bernadette Peters surprised Carol Burnett at a Palm Royale event in 2024. She walked out and sang the theme from The Carol Burnett Show. "I'm so glad we had this time together." While looking directly at Carol, then she did the thing. She tugged her left earlobe. If you know, you know. That was Carol's signature sign-off, her private signal to the grandmother who raised her. Carol was 92 years old, sitting there with tears streaming down her face. The audience was wrecked, and if you grew up watching The Carol Burnett Show, this moment was made for you. Number 12. Here's a beautiful one from late 2024. A 6-year-old girl named Tatum went viral for singing Mooney Long Made for Me with more soul and power than most professional adults. She was invited onto the Jennifer Hudson Show to talk about the video. And while she was being interviewed, Mooney Long quietly walked onto the set behind her. When Tatum turned around and saw her Cheadle standing right there, her face just crumbled into the purest kind of shock. They ended up singing the song together right there on stage.
Nobody knows me like you do. Nobody don't love me.
This tiny girl and the woman whose voice she'd been imitating in her living room for months. The studio audience was in tears. Jennifer Hudson was in tears, and Kadam just kept looking at Mooney Long like she couldn't believe any of it was real. Because for a 6-year-old, meeting your hero is the biggest thing in the world. If this video is making you feel something right now, smash that like button and drop a comment telling me which surprise has hit you the hardest so far. We're nowhere close to done. Number 11, let me tell you about Selena Dion showing up at Adele's Las Vegas residency in 2024. Remember, Celine has been battling stiff person syndrome, a condition that affects her ability to perform. Nobody expected her to be there, but she was in the crowd just sitting there like a regular fan. And when Adele saw her while singing, she just stopped, mid-song in front of 60,000 people. She walked through the audience and hugged her. Both women were in tears. Adele told her, "There would be no me without you." That's two of the greatest voices alive sharing one moment that had nothing to do with fame and everything to do with genuine love and respect. Number 10. Now, I need to tell you about Kelly Clarkson. In late 2024, a 10-year-old girl named Camilla, who had spent most of her young life facing serious health challenges, appeared on Kelly's show. This child had been through more than most adults will ever face. Kelly surprised her with an early birthday celebration on set, and then announced a vacation to Legoland for her whole family. Kelly's own reaction, the way she was crying as hard as the family. That's what made it special. You could tell it wasn't rehearsed, she felt it. Number 9. Johnny Depp deserves his own category. Honestly, this man has visited children's hospitals around the world, dressed as Captain Jack Sparrow, completely in character, spending hours with kids going through treatment. One visit in particular at British Columbia Children's Hospital, he spent nearly 6 hours going room to room, not 30 minutes for the cameras. 6 actual hours in full costume talking to children as if they were aboard the Black Pearl, making them laugh when laughter felt impossible. That's not acting anymore. That's just being a good human being. Number 8. Speaking of people who genuinely care, Dolly Parton. In December 2023, a man named LG, who was battling a very serious illness, had one wish on his bucket list: meet Dolly. His doctors had done everything they could medically. When Dolly's team heard about it, she didn't send a signed photo or a video message. She called him directly on the phone. She talked to him. She laughed with him. She sang to him. He was in tears the entire time. She told him she loved him and that he mattered. And I know this is going to sound dramatic, but that phone call probably meant more than any concert she's ever performed. Sometimes one moment of kindness from the right person is everything. Number 7, but nothing could prepare me for this next one. Robert Downey Jr. worked with an organization called Limitless Solutions to surprise a 7-year-old boy named Alex, who was born with a partially developed arm. Robert showed up dressed as Tony Stark. Not half-heartedly, full character. He knelt down next to Alex and presented him with a custom-built 3D-printed Iron Man prosthetic arm. Then he pulled out his own movie prop arm so they could compare. 2 Iron Men standing side by side. Alex was beaming. His parents were in tears, and Robert treated that little boy like he was the real superhero because he was. Number 6. Let me tell you about something that happened in 2024 that barely made the news, but absolutely should have. Ryan Reynolds found out that an 8-year-old boy named Nash, who was going through cancer treatment, had decorated his radiation mask to look like Deadpool.
Can I get a picture of us with this? Because this is our first screen too.
His mom posted the photo online, and Reynolds saw it. Instead of just commenting or liking the post, he showed up at the hospital in person. He signed the mask, sat with Nash, told him, "That is a lot for an 8-year-old to shoulder."
That is a lot for an 8-year-old kid to shoulder.
And then called Hugh Jackman on FaceTime so Nash could meet Wolverine too. Jackman jumped on the call and told Nash, "Tell Ryan to stop calling me." Nash laughed so hard. 2 superheroes for one incredibly brave kid. Number 5. Let me take you back to 2022 for a second, because something happened at the Newport Folk Festival that still gives me chills. Joni Mitchell walked onto that stage for the first time in 22 years. Nobody knew she was coming. The lineup just said Brandy Carelli and friends. But then, Joni appeared in her signature beret, sat in a golden chair and performed 13 songs, including both sides. This was after years of recovery from a serious health crisis where people weren't sure if she'd ever perform again. Musicians in the wings were openly crying. The audience was crying. I'm getting emotional just describing it because that woman fought her way back and then sang like nothing had ever happened. Number 4, Taylor Swift. In December 2024, one day before her 35th birthday, made an unannounced visit to Children's Mercy Hospital in Kansas City. She spent over an hour with children receiving treatment for serious illnesses. She sang with patients, traded friendship bracelets, and signed books. One 13-year-old boy named Beckett, who was going through treatment, gave Taylor 3D printed earrings he'd made, with Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes' names on them. A kid facing the hardest thing imaginable took the time to make a gift for Taylor Swift. The fact that he was thinking about making someone else happy while going through all of that tells you everything about the kind of strength these children carry. Number 3, I almost forgot this one, and I'm glad I didn't, because it might be one of the most emotional celebrity-to-celebrity moments ever captured. At the 2022 D23 Expo, Harrison Ford walked on stage to promote the final Indiana Jones film. The audience gave him a standing ovation that went on so long he had to wave them down. And then he was surprised by Ke Huy Quan. If you don't know, Ke Huy Quan played Short Round in Temple of Doom when he was a kid.
Yes, how are you?
How proud are you of this guy?
I don't need to be proud of this guy. He's done all of this himself.
He'd left acting for decades and had just come back to win an Oscar for Everything Everywhere All at Once. When Kay walked out, Harrison's face completely changed. This is a man who famously does not show emotion in public, but he hugged Kay and you could see his eyes were red. Kay was openly crying. Harrison kept saying, "You're all grown up." It was the kind of reunion that reminds you these people have real histories and real feelings behind the characters we love. Number 2, but nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared me for the story of Melody Driscoll. Melody was diagnosed with a rare condition at 16 months old. She spent most of her life in hospitals, over 40 procedures. The only thing that consistently soothed her pain was Ed Sheeran's music. Nurses would play his songs during her worst moments to calm her down. Her parents started a campaign to get Ed's attention. And in 2016, Ed Sheeran walked into her hospital room alone. No management, no security, no cameras, just him and a guitar.
Inside these pages, you just hold me.
He spent 90 minutes with her. He sang Photograph on her tiny pink guitar because he didn't even bring his own. And Melody, this little girl who cannot walk or talk, started dancing and giggling. She checked his arm tattoo to make sure it was really him. Her mother said afterwards, "He's keeping our daughter alive." I dare you to hear that story and not feel something. Number 1. And now for the moment I say for last because I think it's the most important one on this entire list. In 2021, The Rock learned about a UFC fighter named Thea Gerbo from Zimbabwe, who had used every dollar he earned from fighting to build a water well for his village back home. After his first UFC win, Thea had $7 in his bank account. 7. And he was sleeping on a couch at his gym in Miami. When The Rock heard this story, he didn't send money through a publicist, he flew to Miami. He showed up behind Thea during an interview, tapped him on the shoulder, and hugged him. Oh my God. Then he drove him to what thought was a friend's house. It was Thea's new home, fully furnished. Everything. Thumba fell to his knees. He couldn't speak. He just kept saying, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Through tears, The Rock told him, "I wanted to look you in the eye and tell you welcome home." That $7 connection meant everything to Johnson, because he's talked openly about having $7 in his pocket when he was starting out too. 2 men, same struggle, different chapters, and one life changed forever because someone who made it remembered what it felt like to have nothing. From Adele fooling an entire room with a fake nose, to The Rock handing house keys to a man who had $7. These moments prove something I think we all need to hear. The people we admire from a distance are sometimes even more incredible up close. Not every celebrity surprise is a publicity stunt. Some of them are just good people doing good things, because they have the power to and they choose to use it. Ed Sheeran sitting alone in a hospital room with a little girl whose pain only his music could reach. George Clooney driving to a retirement home with flowers. Dolly calling a man who just wanted to hear her voice. One more time. Those aren't headlines. Those are acts of love. And that might be the most beautiful thing about fame. Not the red carpets or the money, but the fact that sometimes you get the power to walk into someone's hardest day and make it the best day of their life. Let me know in the comments which moment hit you the hardest. I already know mine. And if this video made you feel something real, subscribe because we've got way more.